Hey sis, come sit with me for a minute. This is where we talk about healing, identity, and patterns. And we remind ourselves that becoming takes grace. Sis, can we talk? Hey sis, can we talk for a minute? Sis, I've been thinking, have you ever noticed that the person who sees the problem often becomes the problem? It's like the person who asks questions becomes difficult, or the person who notices patterns becomes disruptive, or the person who speaks truth becomes the black sheep. And for a long time, I thought that was just happening in families. But as I've gotten older, I've realized it happens in every system. It's the families, it's the friend groups, it's the organizations, it's the workplaces, it's even churches. Every system develops patterns. And every once in a while, someone comes along who can see it. That person usually is labeled the problem. Now, sis, let's talk about what's really going on. For years, I thought I was simply helping women become leaders. Before I became president of a women's ERG group, women would often approach me and ask how I had reached leadership positions I'd reached. As a Black woman in corporate leadership, women of all backgrounds wanted to know how I navigated my career. How did I get here? How did I move into leadership? How did I overcome obstacles? And at first I thought they were asking for career advice. But the more conversations I had, the more I realized something deeper. The issue wasn't talent. It wasn't even intelligence. And it wasn't capability. The issue was confidence. Many of these women were already qualified. They were already capable. Many were already doing leadership work. They just didn't see themselves as leaders. And that's when I realized I wasn't looking at a workplace issue. I was looking at a pattern I had seen my entire life. Because the truth is, I was a little girl who grew up watching women carry enormous responsibilities while simultaneously doubting their own worth. I grew up surrounded by strong women, women who carried families, responsibilities, and even other people. But strength and self-worth are not the same thing. What I kept noticing was that many women would carry almost anything except full belief in their own value. I saw it in my family. Then I saw it in corporate America. Different women, same pattern, different environment, same wound. When I became the president of the ERG, my vision wasn't simply to host events. My vision was to help women see themselves differently. I wanted us to talk about authenticity. I wanted us to talk about leadership and about confidence. I wanted us to talk about the difference between being nice and being kind. I wanted us to have conversations that would challenge the stories women were carrying about themselves. Because I believed awareness creates transformation. But something interesting happened. As I stepped into that vision, I started noticing another pattern. Some people leaned in, some people leaned away, some people were excited about growth, others became uncomfortable with it. And that's when I learned something that changed the way I see systems forever. Not everyone who joins a system wants transformation. Some people want familiarity. Some people want comfort. Some people want things to stay exactly as they are. And when someone begins asking deeper questions, the system often reacts. Not because the questions are wrong, because awareness is disruptive. The person who sees system differently becomes the disruption. The person who noticed the patterns becomes the problem. The person who names the wound becomes the black sheep. But here's what I've learned. The black sheep is rarely the problem. The black sheep is usually the pattern recognizer, the one who sees what everyone else has learned to ignore, the one who notices what everyone else has normalized, and the one who is willing to ask the question everyone else avoids. And that's not a curse, it's a gift. Today, I understand something I didn't understand back then. I wasn't being prepared to lead an ERG. I was being prepared to do the work I do today. I was being prepared to help women discover who they are. I was being prepared to become a counselor. I was being prepared for Sis, Can We Talk? Because everywhere I went, I kept seeing the same wound. Women forgetting who they are. Women doubting their value. Women questioning their worth. And maybe that's why God kept showing me the pattern. Not so I could judge it. Not so I could fix people. But so I can help people remember their worth, their value, their voice, and remember who God created them to be. So if you've ever been called the black sheep, if you ever have been misunderstood or felt misunderstood, if you've ever wondered why you seem to notice things others don't, maybe you're not difficult. Maybe you're awake. Maybe you're the pattern recognizer. And maybe the very thing that made you feel different is the thing God intends to use. I'm Cleo, the pattern recognizer. And one pattern I've noticed is that people who help others see differently are often misunderstood by the very systems they're trying to heal. Until next time, sis, keep healing, keep growing, and keep becoming.